Meeting to order on Tuesday, August 19th for the City of LaPorte Historic Preservation Commission at 5:34 p.m. We have one attendee virtually today, so we're going to take roll call to start. Bruce Johnson. Present. Deb Parcell from Indiana Landmarks.
Present.
Krista Hurley-King.
Present.
Did you get that, Pierce? Fonda Owens.
Here.
And Peter Steele.
Here.
Of course, joining us as always is our wonderful city planner, David Heinold. And we have several attendees this evening, so we're super excited that everybody's here. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first up, we have approval of the meeting minutes from June 17th and July 15th. So take a moment to review those if you've got them in front of you.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Fonda makes a motion to approve both in June and July.
Yes.
Fonda made a motion to approve the minutes for both June and July. May I have a second? Peter, thank you for the second. So because we have a virtual attendee, we have to do roll call voting. So Peter?
Aye.
Fonda?
Aye.
Krista?
Aye.
That's an aye from Krista, an aye from me. The motion carries. The minutes are approved from June 17th and July 15th. Correspondence reports. We don't have anything this month? No. Thank you, David. Committee reports. Krista, are you moving forward with Sunflower Fair? Good to go? What do you need from us?
I'm ready to go with a booth, but I don't know who to contact who's in charge of it, or, nobody's contacted me about it.
Yeah, so that's all set up. An email will come out right before with our booth assignment.
Okay.
It's been me in the past, so I'm sure when it comes out, David will make sure that you've got it. We're usually right across from City Hall. And then, did you want the tent?
Yes, I need a tent.
Okay, we've got a tent. Anything else? What else do you need from us?
Well, what kind of propaganda do we have to hand out? Do we have anything that is part of the booth, or are we just in it, or?
So we try to do something a little different every year, and it can be whatever you want it to be. We always have the coloring books available for purchase. We did a photo booth one year. We usually hand out like the brochures that are about why designation is good for your neighborhood, and I have those at my house, so I can get them over to you.
Okay.
But if there was something specific you wanted to do, we're on board.
I
Okay.
will let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
The tent and tablecloth are in storage
Right.
at City Hall. So.
Okay, so we have the tent and the logoed tablecloth all ready for you.
Okay, good. That's
Okay.
what I was, yeah.
So, is there a registration form that's?
It's already done,
Oh, that's good.
yeah. David and I have learned our lessons and got that done early.
Okay.
All right.
And do we need people to sign up to be there at certain times?
Well, sure. I mean, I was thinking other people would be there. I don't know if you want to sign up. I'll be there all day, so somebody will be there.
I will be there over the lunchtime hours, so from like 10 to
Okay.
2.
Okay. Okay, well, let me organize all that, now that, back in, what's the last time was June when I was there, so it felt like so long ago before. Now it's right here, so give me a minute or two to think about that, and I can contact people via email.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Is that September 20th?
Is it September 20th? Yes.
Okay. I was contacted by the Center for Creative Solutions Incorporated to do a tour of downtown LaPorte that day.
That'll be
I didn't
so
realize it was the same day, but,
fun. You always get,
so I'm working on a tour that day. But anyway, I can probably help out after I'm done
Okay.
with it.
great. Okay, we're gonna let Krista make her plan, and then we'll have our commission members join in to fill in the holes. Okay, Krista, anything else from us that you need right now?
Nope, not at the moment.
All right. Moving on, old business. HPC Educational Workshop Planning. How are we doing with a date for Mortar?
We're doing better with a date than we are with a presenter. So I'm not even sure what to say. I've been turned down numerous times. Nobody's available or willing. I've reached out. I talked to Mark Kurth and see if he had a go-to Mason. I talked to Tim Stabos. I've talked to Todd. I'm just at wit's end, plus a couple Masons who said no. Either aren't available or not willing. I don't know where to go beyond that, to be honest.
What about Mike Bolzowski?
The place where we were, well, that's what Todd suggested. He said, why don't you do a carpentry one and get that guy where you were on Saturday, because he's amazing. So I don't know if that's something we would, does somebody know him well enough to ask? I came late and left early, so I never actually talked to him in person.
I can talk to him.
Could you do that?
What specifically should I tell him?
I mean, if we could do, I think we were talking a 2-hour roughly, were we? Or a Saturday morning workshop, like where he could come in and talk about carpentry
So he would come,
to somewhere, or I guess, I mean, I don't know if people want to go there. It's like north of 20 on State Road 39, almost to Michigan, but not quite. And then west, maybe a mile or less. So it's not real far away. He's got the most amazing wood shop. And he opened it up for Preserve Historic LaPorte last Saturday, and they invited me to come over and take a look, and it was just incredible. His work is amazing, and his tools and everything. I forget though, when is he was moving at some point,
yeah, he's moving in October.
October.
That's my understanding. Is that what you heard?
Yeah, I think it's October 8th, he has to be out or something. But he might know a mason.
He might.
I have a name that I could check into, but he hasn't done anything for me for several years, but I've seen him, so I know he's around town. I can ask him if he's still doing that kind of work.
You'd be willing to do that. That would be great, because, you know,
Maybe Mike could bring some stuff to demonstrate with. If we can't go to him,
yeah.
I'll talk to him and see.
Okay, well, if you both do some checking, and then hopefully we can get
Let's
something
convene via
lined up.
email, So we've got something lined up before,
Yeah.
sorry, let's convene
So
via email, so
What dates did you have in mind?
we don't have any dates selected, right?
No.
We were kind of
Oh, okay.
wanting to see who was available when, because when we're asking these speakers to come, it's kind of like, you pick the day.
Right.
We'll make it happen.
We'll just- October 11th, Michigan City's
Mm-hmm.
doing a workshop, so I would appreciate if you don't schedule on the same day as them, because you're kind of drawn out of the same pool for public coming there,
What
so.
workshop are they doing?
They are doing paint,
Paint. We talked about that.
so.
Okay, so no October 11, either carpentry or masonry still. Peter's gonna talk to his possible mason,
His name is Tim Schweitzer.
Tim. And Bruce is gonna follow up with the carpenter from this weekend. All right, moving on to new business, the Section 106 review for the Civic Auditorium elevator installing of a new elevator. We received a lovely letter that was totally complete. The elevator hasn't worked in some time. When they install this new elevator, the whole building will be handicapped accessible, which will be superb. And it doesn't really, it's not gonna affect the exterior of the building at all. And all of the framing around the elevator will stay the same. So all of the like fun signage and stuff will still be there. And it just, like, with this particular property, we don't really have a say. We just get to give a blessing, to say we're excited to see progress on the building. So that we can kind of, yeah, sure. We've got a microphone right here. Come up so that all of our online listeners can hear you.
I'm Mary Ann Richards, and I'm the Community Development Block Grant Program Manager for the City of LaPorte. Community Development Block Grant, or otherwise known as CDBG, is funded through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And Section 106 reviews are mandated by the Code of Federal Regulations. In this project qualifies for a Section 106 review in order to present the request for the release of funds, and we're using COVID dollars, leftover COVID dollars to fund this request. I have to have an environmental review. I need to do a consultation as part of that. You are one of the groups that I'm consulting with. So you have received a letter of concurrence that I'm asking you to sign. And again, the project will not alter the exterior of the building. It won't even remove the windows that are blocked by the current elevator. There's 2 small windows. So that's why you received a copy of the letter of concurrence, and I'm asking you to sign it. I'm also trying to get is it Preserve Historic LaPorte? And then I sent it to Indiana Landmarks, to Todd, but I haven't heard anything.
I'm not horribly surprised. He's a busy
So,
guy, but I will look into that and see
Okay, I
if I can get a
appreciate
hold
it,
of that.
because once I get the letters of concurrence back that are signed, I have to send this down to the Department of Natural Resources Division of Archaeology and have them sign a letter of concurrence before the project moves on. And if that doesn't happen, then it's dead in the water. And the more letters of concurrence I have, the more proof that I've done consultation,
Yeah.
the better the chances of having the state approve it. And then I submit everything into the HUD software program, the server for Heroes.
Is there any comment from the quorum?
think we should recommend it or
I think
approve
we
it.
should
Yeah.
recommend it. I agree. Krista, do you have any comments?
I do not.
All right.
My
Well,
only
we'll,
comment is a working elevator would be fantastic.
Yeah.
For the use of the facility
And-
and the people who.
Right, I agree.
in the
attend
community.
Programs there.
Yeah.
And also, if a pandemic ever occurs again, they'll be able to do testing in the lower level like they did before, and then they can do vaccinations up on the second floor and still maintain decent space, a safety space between the two floors, and allow people to come upstairs to get their vaccinations and downstairs for their testing.
Groovy. Ms. Richards, do I need to sign the one that you sent to my home, or can I sign this one?
You can do whatever you want,
Well, what's
one
your
or the
preference?
other.
Okay, one or the other.
Well,
I was sitting on my kitchen counter where I forgot it to bring it tonight.
let me see if I
Oh,
have one.
David's got
Oh,
his.
I've also got, let me see if I have the original, or, I've got one also that you can sign.
Sweet, okay. Great, we love to say yes.
Do you need to take a vote?
No. Do we? Oh, we do. Okay, sorry, David. I guess we do need to take a vote. Thank you. All right, Krista Hurley King.
Yes.
Okay, aye, she says.
Aye.
We need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
I get excitable as to getting to say yes. Okay, I need a motion to concur with the addition of the new elevator at the Civic.
That no historic properties will be affected.
Okay.
I'll make the motion that no historic properties will be affected by the installation of a new elevator in the Port Civic Auditorium.
I'll second.
Thank you, Peter. All right, roll call voting. Peter,
Aye.
Fonda,
Aye.
Sally, aye. Krista,
Aye.
there we go. Motion carries. We concur. Put in an elevator. Or try to get someone to pay for an elevator. Okay, moving on, at-risk properties discussion. So at our last meeting, I kind of introduced the idea that the Historic Preservation Commission should put out a list of 5 properties that we feel like within the city of LaPorte are the most at-risk, buildings that our community should be paying attention to, kind of like as a press release, or we could do some advocacy around them, starting with just kind of getting it out there that these are, watch what's happening. And that Indiana Landmarks just put out their 10 most endangered for 2025, and LaPorte hit the list this year. Not a list that we want to be on. But it is nice to get some attention for our historic inventory. And one of the things I learned recently is that one of the neighborhoods in question has lost 12% of its historic inventory since the survey was done. I'm like, what's the name of that book? So I'd really like us to kind of start a conversation about maybe some properties, and then we can narrow it down to a few that we'd like to release something to the, city to get noticed. So does anyone have any properties to volunteer. I have 2.
I'd like to see us put St. John's School on that list.
Yeah. St. John's School.
St. John's School.
And that's the one on
A Street.
A Street, right.
I have a concern about 1001 Madison Street.
Do you have any volunteers? Okay, I would like to add 322 Lincoln Way. That's the service station that I think was also a newspaper office. Or I know it was a service station. like
Oh, the
kind of-
pure oil, yeah.
Yeah,
The Tribune.
the Trib, yeah.
Trib
And
Building, yeah.
do we know what years the Trib was there?
Oh my gosh. It was, I think it was still there when I first moved here, but not much after that.
Was it there like in the 40s?
I researched that several years ago.
Mhm.
I'll have to look it up again.
Because I'm wondering, because Ernie Pyle got his start as a reporter in LaPorte. And I'm wondering what building it was that he worked out of.
Well, it wasn't that.
Wasn't that? That's
was
what
a-
I was curious
No,
about.
that was the pure oil gasoline station.
Forever. And then it was the newspaper
And
office.
then it was the newspaper office.
So he would have been at the Herald?
He was with the Herald Argus. Yeah. And that was the South Bend Tribune office for delivering South Bend papers to LaPorte
Uh-huh.
area.
Oh, okay. I'm not, I just like the building and think it's a shame that it doesn't have gutters on it. And then we also had the suggestion of 1206 Jackson Street. So that's kind of over in the Civic neighborhood, kind of in the Walker District. And we've been paying a lot of attention to the Walker District. There's a little bit of positive movement over there. But this one, it had kind of absentee landlords for many years. And now the neighbors own the property, but maybe we'd like to see them, do something with it. Let's see, so we've got 4.
What about the Coke plant?
The Coke bottling.
The other one that I'm interested in, but I don't know what to call it, and I don't really know what's going on with it, is the power plant building behind Ludwig, which I think was originally the power plant for downtown LaPorte, wasn't it?
Light, light and electrical, yeah.
Do you know what to call that? I guess we could, or the address of it, either one, I don't know.
The light and electric building behind Ludwig.
Yeah.
That whole stretch of like warehouses there along the train station, I would love to see like some, really great adaptive reuse happen there.
Well, that Ludwig building, I just had a tour of that.
Beautiful, yeah.
I was on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been inside? To see all the hotel rooms and
Uh-huh.
everything. It's really amazing. I got to ride in the original Otis elevator. It was really cool. Yeah.
Did you go up in the elevator?
Hmm.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you have to pull yourself up?
No. They took me for a ride in it.
Mm-hmm.
Former students who worked there. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So should we, just brainstorm about a list and then try to narrow it down to 5? Is that?
Yeah, well, we've got 6 right now. I think that before our next meeting, I'll just kind of find out what I can about each of the buildings, do a photograph, and then maybe we can just start asking for like a press release on the city website once a month. We might even have somebody stick their head out of the sand to lasso into sitting on the commission, which would be excellent. Well, if in the next month you think of another building that you think would be a fantastic add to the list, I would love to hear from you. And we'll come back to that next month. All right. HPC, let's do the coloring books.
They're being printed right now. And David, did you want to talk about the, we've got the list of who's paid and who hasn't paid at this point. Okay. And did you contact this Rita Beatty?
I did not, but I saw her yesterday. I'm sorry, I'll text her.
Because we haven't heard from her, so. Otherwise, I contacted everybody else, and it's been coming in slowly. So we have $500, we're up to $600 tonight with another one, so.
And do we need to make any other, Thank you. Do we need to make any other decisions regarding the coloring book?
I don't think so.
Super. And what is the, what month do we try to get those out in?
Well, see, the teachers wanted them by August, but
Uh-huh.
we can't do that
That's-
because they don't even start taking enrollment until the end of July, so.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had to wait until the schools went back to their offices, and so, so they're gonna get them when they're done. So, yeah. So I will, as soon as they call me from Hawkins, I will go pick them up and deliver them to the schools.
Awesome. We have HBC educational session on here. Is that from Deb or is that workshop?
Yeah, that is me. So I decided to keep it short and sweet and follow something that we've been doing in some of the other commissions. However, I will say, I had a meeting with a window salesman earlier today, and after listening to some of the arguments for replacement windows, I think we need to do a really good session on replacement materials for the commission, because when you get some of those arguments, you need to be able to refute some of the things that people say. I didn't get too far, but it was just extremely frustrating, and I work with this every day. So I know that when you all run up against this stuff, it can be tough. And so to have some good arguments to come back, it's not a hill to die on necessarily in a one-on-one conversation, but there's a lot of people out there that really don't understand the importance of the materials that are already there. And the fact that they've already been there over 100 years, that alone should tell you they're pretty good quality. So anyways, that's something I would really like to do in the next month or two. But for tonight, something we've been looking at in a few of the other commissions, and I just thought it's a good thing to touch on, won't take terribly long. But we're looking at making defensible motions in meetings, because sometimes people get in a hurry or they're nervous or whatever, and they don't include all the things that you should. And I can't say that's always going to be a problem, but every now and then you get that one person that's upset and they're going to take you to court, and you want to be sure that you've dotted all your i's and crossed your t's. So just something to think about. We've got a few commissions that are even considering creating a template. You guys don't get COAs quite as frequently as some, but they're actually looking at a template where they can go through, and the major wording is there, and they just kind of fill in the blanks. So that might be something to consider. So as we think about that, remember that each of you were appointed basically to make decisions. That's why you're here. And you need to do that unless you've got a conflict of interest or you aren't a voting member. And if you have a conflict of interest, you need to disclose it. I've been part of groups where people just didn't want to make an unpopular decision, and so they recuse themselves, and you really can't do that. So remember, that's what you're here for. You also, it's important to include a detailed finding of fact. Sometimes that's in the staff report, and you can just reference that, but you need to actually have good reasons and reference the guidelines. So not just say, I make a motion to approve, but you need to reference some of these other things. So we had one of the city attorneys in one of our other communities put together a little handout that has some good talking points. I'll go over these with you, and then I'll email them to everybody, so you've got those. I didn't take time to copy them this morning. So starting out with motions, what are you doing? So you start out saying, I move, right? Easiest way to start. But then you need to say whose behalf you're making the motion on. So I move that we, or I move that the commission, so that you're specific about who's taking the action. Then you go on to what the action is proposing. So I move that we approve or deny. So describe what you want to do. You can't really stop there, but that's the first part, is saying that you move to approve or deny. Also important to identify the property that you're taking action on for a COA. So they recommend not only using the COA number, but also the address. So it's not confusing, it doesn't get lost in transcription or the minutes or whatever. So that's an important point. And then comes the part of your reasons. So it's not always required, but it is a best practice to include the reasoning for your motion. So you've got several options. You can reference the finding of fact if there is one in the report, or you can just list your own reasons why, personal reasons that you think it should be denied based on the guidelines, not just, I think it's ugly, don't do it. You may think that, but don't say that. That's not a legitimate reason. So you could also quote other people's reasoning. So if other commission members said, I don't think this should be approved because of, whatever, you could also echo that same concern. It doesn't necessarily have to be original, but it has to go with the guidelines. So then you would be saying, like, I move that we approve COA 2025-001 for the property at 123 Main Street and adopt the findings in the staff report in support. Or you could say that the petitioner failed to provide an adequate reason to depart from our guidelines. And so that's why we're recommending denial. So you need a reason either way. A reason is almost more important for a denial because people need to know why. And just not that you didn't like them or the color they wanted to paint their house or whatever. So, whoops, sorry about that. Don't want to hit that. And then you need to talk about what the conditions are that you want imposed. Sometimes you have conditions, so you want to make sure that you put that in there. For instance, I move that we approve COA 2025-001 for the property at 123 Main Street and adopt the findings as set out in the staff report in support, but subject to the following conditions. Petitioner must only use colors from our list in our guideline. But subject to the conditions set out in the staff report, because sometimes there's more lengthy conditions in there than you might just want to recite. So just saying those conditions that are in the staff report would be adequate. He also addressed multiple requests, and that gets tricky sometimes when they're looking at multiple projects on one COA application. So there's various ways that you can do that. You just want to be sure that you cover all the bases. So you can reference the specific requests that you want approved and the ones that you want denied all in one motion, or you could break it up and you could address the windows and then the roof and then the porch, or whatever you're looking at. So either one of those is okay, just making sure that you cover each and everything, because if you do miss something and you don't act on it, when 30 days are up from the time that they applied, it gets approved and you might not want that.
With the discussion portion of making a motion, is it better than, like, easier to break up each portion into separate motions so that we're not having to go back?
When there's multiple things on a COA, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I personally think it's easier to deal with one at a time.
Me too.
So, unless it's a string of things and you want to approve everything and there's absolutely no conditions, then you could do it as one. But I think it's just more efficient to do one at a time, because your reasons are going to be different, probably, for each one. And then, yeah, also on denials, you could say, I move that we deny COA 2025-001 for the property at 123 Main Street, as it is a major change to the building that destroys the character, the historic character of the building. Or you could reference the staff report that you approve to, now this is when the wording gets tricky, but they do say this. Say the staff report recommends denial. And then you would say, I move that we approve to deny the COA. So it sounds redundant and almost conflicting that you're saying you're approving denial, but that's what the staff report is recommending. So you're approving what the staff report is saying, which is denial. And that sounds a little weird. It doesn't happen often, but that is one way to do that. And then also to go on and say adopting the staff report and findings and approve all those. Then if you're splitting it up, then you could go on to say approve the matters that the report recommends approved. So you could do a denial and an approval in one, but I would not recommend that. I think that's really confusing. But legally, they say you could do that. So those are just kind of some quick basics that I thought were really useful.
When that commission gets their template put together, I would love to see that.
Okay, I can share that with you. We're in the process of that, and I've heard of other places doing that. It's a lot to remember sometimes, and so if it's all right there in front of you, it can be pretty helpful. So, yeah, I'd be glad to share it.
Any other questions? No? Okay, moving on. Final thing, train station candlelight tour. So the train station, maybe everyone knows already, the train station is going to be in the candlelight tour this year, and the HPC we're gonna sponsor it. So we're going to be acting kind of as the homeowners, and opening up the, not the freight section, but the passenger section of the train station. And I'm super excited, and I'm gonna decorate it, and I don't really need anybody to do anything. But I hope to see you all there. And it'll be nice to, give the citizens of LaPorte access to the train station, because everyone's so curious about it. Yeah, that's it.
Do you think there's a possibility we could get it designated before the tour?
Well, we've got the application filled out, and Deb is working on the history, and are we ready to go next month?
We should be able to. I need to write a report to go with the history, and I forget, it's a public hearing that we have to have. So as long as we get a notice out there in time, right? We can go
Yep.
ahead with that.
And
So, yeah.
we have to vote on at two different meetings? Is that right, or just one?
Just one here
Okay.
for the HPC, and then
Make
council,
a
how many
recommendation
times?
to council, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and then the council
we vote to
has
make
to
a
approve it.
recommendation to the city council.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the second meeting.
That's
Yeah.
the second
And I
meeting.
don't know how many
We're
hearings.
the meeting before the meeting.
Is that 2, 3? It creates an ordinance, yeah.
Two.
Okay, 2. So, but there still should be time before December if we can do it, if you can make the recommendation in September, and then it could go to council. And does it meet twice a month?
And if there's a timeline, we could vote to send
Okay. Seems like it should go through, though, pretty easily ahead of time, so yeah. Yeah, it should
That
be
would be great.
designated by then. Great.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Hooray. All right, hearing of visitors. Our one visitor left because we addressed her thing. Nope, okay. Announcements. Oh, okay, please. Thank you, Drew.
Two things. I really like the at-risk properties discussion. I think that'll be a nice list to put up. One thing that I would consider, and maybe Deb has some experience with this, I would hesitate to put out a list with homes or private owners without them knowing that it's coming first. So perhaps a letter from the HPC that this property has been recognized as an at-risk. These are our reasonings or whatever, and also a footnote. You could have the property historically designated if you so choose. Here's the steps, rather than them see on a city newsletter or whatever that my
Good
property
idea.
is. So I would,
That's
yeah.
a really excellent suggestion. Thank you, Drew.
And then, second, I really like the discussion regarding building supplies, replacement and stuff. Perhaps if you were to do that, or really any discussion about that, we could incorporate a discussion on, for city residents, what the HPC is, why designate, and because there has always been a long stigma that it's just a heavy-handed governmental, you know, agency telling you what to do. So if there is an educational portion and we have a list of these at-risk properties, we could invite them and say, you know, this is what we're about, and make it an open house. So that was just my thought bubble as I was sitting there.
Thank you.
All right, so any announcements? Of course, we have the Preserving Historic Places Conference coming up at the end of September, into the beginning of October in Fort Wayne, and I think we're all attending. Not you, you have another commitment, but everyone else is going. So I'm super excited for that. That's it.
I want to bring, I know I've been mentioning about America 250 coming up
America
next year
250.
and trying to get prepared for that and doing some special things. And I mentioned about maybe we could find some ways to either do the historic district or during the bicentennial, we designated certain buildings with special plaques. And then also during the centennial of LaPorte, in 1932, they put this nice signs by historical structures in LaPorte, telling the histories of those particular buildings, which was really cool, I thought. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring up those ideas, and maybe there is something we can be doing for next year.
Do you have a building in mind?
Not off the top of my head. I know I've had thought of different buildings, but,
There's a lot of good ideas on the America 250 website. They're trying to help communities come up with activities and things to do. So I don't think we have to create our own thing necessarily. We could take some of their ideas that they have and adapt them, which is, you know, 'cause there's a lot. They're asking, I think, any and all, like, governmental entities to get involved in the America 250. So,
but I'm
It's a pretty
specifically
good
thinking about
website.
districts or buildings or anything that's historic in our community that we would deal with and preserving. And I just thought it'd be a nice time to be doing something like that. So, anyway.
we know if the city itself has America 250 plans, David? Have they discussed it? Does anybody know? City, county, I'm assuming the museum, the historical museum.
I can't hear you too well.
sorry, I need to turn on my microphone. Does the county museum have plans for America 250? I mean, I just see it as maybe an opportunity for collaboration.
Oh, we'd be glad to work with you, that for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even, we're talking about the Civic Auditorium, it'd be nice to do something to recognize the significance of that building, its history, and to preserve it. And how we were talking about the train station, you know. So there are several buildings like that that I think need to be specially recognized. Even if we don't go through the National Register or something like that, maybe put something up. So, just be thinking about historic buildings you think that should be honored in some way. And if we could put some special sign of recognition or history of the building, or, I don't know. I just think it's a good opportunity to do that for America 250, since we've done some stuff like that in the past, so.
It would be kind of cool if we got maybe, like, the clubs. So like we designated the Odd Fellows building and the Masonic Lodge. Does that make sense? Like, right here, right there, like that would be
The
neat.
Masonic Temple building has been mentioned several times, that it needs to be preserved
Mhm.
historically, as should be on the National Register, so.
Yeah. All right. If there are no other announcements, will someone please make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Peter makes a motion to adjourn the August 19th City of LaPorte Historic Preservation Commission meeting. May I have a second?
Second.
Fonda gives us a second. One more roll call vote. Krista?
Aye.
Fonda?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Sally? Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 6:21 PM.